Sleeves here with the Senior Pickleball Report, powered by TNC Network, with another version of Sleeves Snapshot Paddle Reviews. This week, we have a paddle from Redeemed, and this is the Genesis, with my favorite hybrid shape, which I enjoy a great deal. And I got that ribbed, a little bit dirty because I've been playing a lot with it. Ribbed handle. You can see the specs here, pretty standard. This one comes in just under a static weight of about 8 ounces, which I like because then you can add weight to it. I think a mistake, which I've mentioned multiple times in reviews, is if you make a paddle a little too heavy, you cannot take the weight off. It's harder to do that. Much easier to add weight on the edges with whatever you need to do that with, some tungsten or something like that. But again, if you start too heavy, then it becomes a little more difficult. And even if you want to add like an overgrip, that adds weight to the paddle as well. Don't know the swing weight on this. Pretty light in the hands and easy at the net. So I would imagine the swing weight is pretty low, as well as the twist rate doesn't seem to be unstable in my hand at impact. Does everything required in a high-end paddle for a cheap price. You can see the current price here. Don't know how long that will last. But very solid. Simple design, simple graphics, which, depends on your preference of those things, what you like. But again, this is what I would call another paddle that is high-end, Gen 2, thermoformed. And I find that Gen 2 paddles are much easier on my elbow, in my wrist. And because I think of the foam injection on the sidewalls, foam core here a little bit, so it definitely helps the vibration control running down my arm. So a fan of Gen 2 paddles over Gen 1 paddles in that regard. As I mentioned earlier, I love the hybrid shape. It gives me kind of the feeling of both worlds. It sort of feels like it's a little wide and gives me some comfort at the net. But it also feels sleek with that nice rounded top as well. Probably all mental on my end, but again, part of this game is mental, a very large part of it. What I like also is when paddle companies include a paddle cover in the purchase. And this has, a little strap, kind of the old school look back in the racquetball days. So love kind of the throwback paddle cover from this company as well. And, out of the gate, again, another solid paddle company, and not out of what I would call, sort of the big 6 or 7 paddle companies, or maybe 10 paddle companies that are dominating the market space. There's a lot to be found in paddle companies like Redeem, because they can do things that other paddle companies can do, and sometimes they can take risks that other paddle companies that have sort of these expectations placed upon them that do not take. And it's always good to have competition in the marketplace, so I like to support the small brands, and Redeemed out of the box, really doing a good job. Again, great on resets, nice touch at the net, can really drive the ball and spin the ball a lot. Got that T700 face, and, again, checks all the boxes of what you really need in a paddle at a very affordable price, and that really is what it comes down to me. You don't have to spend $250 to really have a high-end, pro-quality paddle. So well done, Redeem. Love the Genesis name, and looking forward to see what they can do in the future as well. This is a great start. All right, folks, at the end of the day, you know what to do. Check out the discount code, all the discount codes below. Subscribe to our newsletter. And hey, at the end of the day, like I just said, let's pickle.